Hi, Joe from Joe's Firearm Safety here. Today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the bolt action firearm that you'll be using during the Canadian Firearm Safety Course. Whenever you pick up any firearm for any reason whatsoever, you have to make sure you go through your ACTS and your approved procedure. So I'm going to point this firearm in my safest available direction. I'm going to remove the ammunition. In order to do that, I'm going to hold onto the bolt handle, lifting it up and pulling it to the rear. That would extract a cartridge that's in the chamber. If this was a repeating firearm, so if it had a magazine, I'd want to do that several times. This particular firearm though, just a single shot. Once the ammunition has been removed, we can observe the chamber, just the very beginning of the barrel, make sure there's no ammunition stuck in there or other obstructions. Next, we'll verify the feeding path, which is down in this space here. And lastly, we want to examine the bore. There's actually 3 different ways to examine the bore on this particular bolt action firearm. We could remove the bolt, we could do a visual inspection from the muzzle end, or we could use a cleaning rod with a tight fitting patch. I'm going to demonstrate how to remove the bolt on this particular firearm. So with the bolt all the way to the rear position, I'm going to squeeze the trigger, pull the bolt out like so. I'll remove my finger from the trigger and out of the trigger guard. With the bolt fully removed, I can now very simply look down the barrel from the rear of the firearm to check for any obstructions. To replace the bolt, we simply make sure we slide it in there correctly, give it a good push from the back, and the bolt is back in position. This firearm is now proved safe. Before we load this firearm, we have to make sure that we know exactly what ammunition can be used with it. So we'll look at the data stamp. It's just on the barrel right over here. It says Cal 22 SLLR. This one firearm can actually use 3 different cartridges: 22 short, 22 long, and 22 long rifle. For the purpose of the Canadian Firearm Safety Course, when we'll be using this firearm, we're just going to be using 22 long rifle cartridges. So 22 long rifle is a rim fire cartridge, so the name of the cartridge itself does not appear on the cartridge. So we got to take a look at the box that it's coming in. 22 long rifle. So I'm going to load my dummy round into the firearm by dropping it into the feeding path like so. I'll push the bolt handle all the way forward and down to lock it in position. There's now a cartridge in the chamber. The last step of your loading procedure is always to make sure the safety is engaged. This particular firearm has the pivot lever rocker safety on this side of the firearm. Forward is safety off, ready to shoot. Back towards you is safety on. And that is the loading procedure. To unload this bolt action firearm, we simply have to prove the firearm safe. So I'm pointing it in my safest available direction. I'm going to remove the ammunition by lifting the bolt handle up and pulling it to the rear. However, if I were to do this in real time, this cartridge would go flying across the room. We really don't want that to happen. So I'll place a finger in front of the ejection port and the cartridge will just fall into the feed path like so. Very easy to get it out of there. Once all the ammunition's been removed, I'll observe my chamber, verify my feed path, and again I'll examine the bore either by removing the bolt, doing a visual inspection, or I can use a cleaning rod with a tight fitting patch. And once again, our firearm is proved safe.